Jai Gurudev and Namaskar and welcome to Voices of Dharma. Today we are joined by two incredible individuals, a senior volunteer of the Art of Living Foundation and an officer from Vedic Dharma Sansthan. We are here to explore the miraculous revival of the Devkaali temple in Ayodhya and how it played a subtle yet profound role in one of the most historic reconciliations in modern Indian history, the peaceful resolution of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir dispute. Thank you both for being here, Jai Gurudev and Namaskar. It's a blessing to be here. Jai Siya Ram, thank you for having us. It's an honor to speak on such a sacred topic. Let's start from the beginning. This temple, Devakali or Badi Devkali, it's not just any temple, is it? Absolutely not. This is the Kula Devi, the ancestral goddess of the Ikshvaku dynasty of none other than Lord Rama himself. It is said that after Sri Ram was born, Mata Kaushalya brought him here to offer him to the goddess. This temple is a silent witness to that divine moment. And what's beautiful is that it was King Dashratha who constructed the temple with devotion, especially when Sita brought an idol of goddess Girija from Mithila. So, this temple was also a symbol of harmony, of marriage, of dynasties, and of faiths united. And yet, over time, the temple saw neglect. What led to its revival? Yes, for years the temple remained in obscurity, even though it held immense spiritual power. Then, under the guidance of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji, Art of Living volunteers began seva in the temple premises, cleaning, restoring, and slowly breathing life back into it, not just physically but spiritually. It was like reviving a sleeping Devi, and it wasn't just about restoration, it was a spiritual resurgence. With the help of local communities, saints, and interfaith leaders, the temple became vibrant again. A Chandi Homam was performed, I've heard. What made this event so special? Yes, Gurudev personally oversaw the Chandi Homam, a very powerful ritual invoking the goddess. What made it extraordinary was that both Hindu and Muslim scholars were invited to participate. It wasn't just a ritual, it was a declaration of unity, peace, and shared devotion. And this is the spirit of Ayodhya, unity in diversity. Gurudev has always emphasized inclusion. Even the name Ayodhya means a place without conflict. That day, the temple wasn't just a temple, it became a symbol of samyama or harmony. So, what followed is history, but not many connect this temple's revival to the Ayodhya mediation. Could you shed light? Yes, Gurudev's visit to Devakali temple and the revival efforts happened just before he took up the incredibly sensitive role of mediator in the Ram Janabhoomi case and the request of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. The blessings of Devakali, the very goddesses who blessed Lord Ram himself, were with him. We believe that it was her Sankalpa, her divine will, that guided the minds and hearts of those involved. Under Gurudev's spiritual leadership, the mediation process unfolded with grace, culminating in a peaceful resolution after decades of conflict. It was a divine unfolding, not just legal diplomacy. Looking back, what does Devakali symbolize today? She represents Shakti in totality, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati, power, prosperity, and wisdom, and she represents harmony between religions, between regions, and between history and future. Exactly, Ayodhya's spiritual geography is not just about temples, it's about timeless energies. Devakali temple stands today not only as a place of worship, but as a beacon of unity, peace, and divine intervention in our times. Thank you both. What a profound and beautiful reminder that spirituality, when combined with seva and inclusiveness, can transform not just temples but entire nations. Jai Siya Ram. Thank you, Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev and welcome, and thank you for joining us today. It's truly a privilege to hear about a revival of such an ancient and powerful temple, the Devakali temple in Ayodhya. To begin, could you share a bit about the significance of this temple and its historical roots? Yes, absolutely. And thank you for having us. The Devakali temple holds an immense historical and spiritual significance. It is deeply intertwined with the ancient story of Ayodhya dating back to the times of Lord Rama. This temple is not just a place of worship but a symbol of protection, wisdom, and abundance. Devakali, in her powerful form, embodies the cosmic feminine energy that includes Mahakali, power, Mahalakshmi, or prosperity, and Mahasaraswati, or wisdom. The temple itself is said to have been built by King Dasharatha to honor goddess Devakali after Sita, who brought the goddess's idol, arrived in Ayodhya. That is fascinating. So, this temple has been revered for centuries. Can you tell us about how it was revived by the Art of Living volunteers? The revival of the Devakali temple is a remarkable story. A few years ago, the temple was in a dilapidated condition and its sanctity was slowly fading. It was His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji who took it upon himself to restore this temple, knowing the deep spiritual power it held not only for the people of Ayodhya but for the entire nation. Under Gurudev's guidance, the Art of Living volunteers worked tirelessly to reconstruct the temple. It wasn't just about rebuilding walls and structures, but about bringing back the spiritual essence that had been lost over the years. Volunteers worked with the local craftsmen and architects, paying close attention to the traditional style and sacred geometry of the temple. The original idols of goddess Devakali were also restored to their rightful place, once again radiating divine energy. That's beautiful. I understand that a major event took place to mark the temple's revival, a Chandi Homam, which was unique in its own right. Could you tell us more about this? Yes, the Chandi Homam was indeed a historic event. What made this particular ceremony so special was the fact that it was not only a spiritual offering but a significant moment of unity. Both Hindu and Muslim scholars were invited to participate in this sacred ritual, an embodiment of harmony and togetherness. It was His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji's vision to bring together people from all walks of life, regardless of religious background, in a spirit of shared reverence. The Chandi Homam, a fire ritual dedicated to the goddess, was performed with deep devotion and a sense of collective prayer for peace and prosperity. This was not just a religious event, but a symbol of bridging divides and fostering mutual respect among different communities. That's incredibly inspiring. It's not every day you see such a beautiful display of interfaith harmony. Now, I understand that the blessings of this very temple played a significant role in the resolution of the Ayodhya dispute. Could you elaborate on that? Yes, the blessings of goddess Devakali, as we believe, were instrumental in the successful mediation of the Ram Mandir resolution. The entire nation witnessed how the Ayodhya dispute, which had remained unresolved for decades, was brought to a peaceful and amicable conclusion. The intervention of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji was pivotal in this process. To dialogue and a focus on unity, he played a key role in creating an atmosphere of trust and understanding among the various stakeholders involved in the dispute. The ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, which paved the way for the construction of the Ram Mandir, was not just a legal victory, it was a victory for spiritual unity. The Devakali temple, with its centuries old legacy of wisdom and protection, was seen as a guiding light during this process. The very energy of this temple and the collective prayers offered by devotees from all faiths contributed to the peaceful resolution of what was once a deeply divisive issue. That is truly profound. So, the temple didn't just serve as a place of worship, but as a spiritual anchor during such a critical moment in India's history. Exactly, the Devakali temple, very much like the spiritual teachings of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji, has always been about embracing the collective power of prayer, faith, and shared humanity. When Gurudev took the responsibility of reviving the temple, he saw it not just as an act of restoring a physical structure, but as an act of healing the hearts of the people. The temple's blessings, coupled with Gurudev's guidance, became a beacon for the resolution of the Ayodhya dispute and issue. It's no coincidence that the culmination of efforts towards the Ram Mandir happened after the Devakali temple's revival. The temple, with its powerful presence, became a symbol of hope, peace, and the power of collective goodwill. That's a beautiful and powerful connection. Looking ahead, what do you envision for the Devakali temple and its continued role in the spiritual and cultural landscape of India? So that's a powerful and beautiful connection. Looking ahead, what do you envision for the Devakali temple and its continued role in the spiritual and cultural landscape of Ayodhya? Yes, Gurudev, the Devakali temple will continue to be a center of spiritual energy, peace, and unity. It has already become a place where people of all faiths can come together to experience divine blessings and offer prayers with His Holiness Gurudev's blessings. The temple will not only serve the local community but also continue to inspire people from all across the world. We also hope to preserve and promote the temple's rich history, ensuring that future generations understand the importance of this sacred space, not just as a physical structure but as a living embodiment of peace, harmony, and spiritual wisdom. It seems that the Devakali temple is not just a place of historical significance but a living testament to unity, healing, and faith. Thank you so much for sharing these remarkable insights today. It's been truly enlightening. Jagadev, and thank you for having us. It's always an honor to share the story of this sacred place. May the blessings of Goddess Devakali continue to guide us all towards peace, wisdom, and love, Jagadev. Jagadev, today we have the privilege of speaking with an esteemed officer of the Vedic Dhan Sansthan and an art of living expert about the incredible revival of the Devakali temple in Ayodhya. Welcome and thank you for joining us, Jai Gurudev, and thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, especially to talk about a temple that is so deeply rooted in history and spirituality. The Devakali temple holds a profound significance in Ayodhya's history. Can you tell us about its importance and the ancient legacy it carries? Jai Gurudev, yes, the Devakali temple is not just a place of worship but a living testament to the spiritual and cultural history of Ayodhya. It is said to be the temple of Devi Devakali, a fierce and radiant goddess, a protector of the Ikshvaku dynasty, and the mother of warriors. The temple is deeply tied to the legacy of Lord Ram's family, especially King Dasharatha, Queen Kaushalya, and Sita. The goddess is believed to have been the guardian spirit of Ayodhya long before Lord Ram's birth. When you step into the courtyard, it is as if you are walking on a sacred ground where Kaushalya once prayed, where Sita once wept, and where the roots of divine protection were laid for generations. It's a temple with such a deep ancestral memory, connecting us to a time when the kings and queens of this land sought blessings for their people and their kingdoms. Such an incredible legacy, but this temple had fallen into despair over time. How did the Art of Living volunteers come to be involved in its revival? The revival of the Devakali temple was a beautiful example of the transformative power of service and spiritual commitment. The temple had suffered neglect over the centuries, but under the guidance of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji, volunteers from the Art of Living stepped forward to bring it back to life. Gurudev's vision was clear. This sacred space needed to be restored not just physically but spiritually, so that it could continue to be a place of collective prayer, peace, and devotion. It must have been a monumental task. What steps did the Art of Living volunteers take to restore the temple? The restoration was indeed a huge undertaking, but it wasn't just about rebuilding walls or structures. Gurudev emphasized the importance of restoring the spiritual essence of the temple. Volunteers came together to clean the temple, rebuild its structure, and enhance the vibrancy of the space. But the real miracle was how the community came together. Muslim and Hindu volunteers working side by side, putting aside all differences to restore something sacred to the land. That sounds incredibly moving, especially when you consider the unity that it fostered. I understand that a significant event took place after the temple's restoration. A Chandi Homam was performed with both Muslim and Hindu scholars present. Can you tell us more about that event? Yes, the Chandi Homam performed at the revived Devakali temple was a very special occasion. It was not just a religious ceremony but a symbol of unity and peace. Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji invited scholars from both the Hindu and Muslim communities to participate in the event. This was an unprecedented gesture, bringing together spiritual leaders from both faiths to perform a sacred ritual that honors the divine presence of the goddess and invokes blessings for the community. It was a moment of deep connection, showing that true spirituality transcends all divisions. It wasn't just about the religious practices, it was about a shared devotion to the divine and the collective hope for peace and harmony. That unity truly embodies the spirit of Ayodhya. I also understand that this temple and its blessings played a role in the resolution of the Ayodhya dispute. Could you share more about that? Absolutely. The blessings of the Devakali temple have indeed been a powerful force in the resolution of the Ayodhya dispute. The temple, as a spiritual center of immense significance, became a beacon of peace and harmony. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji's efforts in facilitating dialogue between different communities and stakeholders played a pivotal role in the peaceful resolution of the Ram Janambhoomi case. In 2019, the Supreme Court of India passed its verdict in favor of building a Ram temple at the disputed site. What's important is to understand is that this resolution came after years of dialogue, peace building efforts, and prayers from all sides. Gurudev's spiritual leadership was instrumental in guiding the process. His belief in the power of compassion, dialogue, and forgiveness helped pave the way for a peaceful solution. The blessings from the Devakali temple were very much a part of this resolution. The temple, with its deep spiritual roots, had always been a symbol of the power of faith to overcome adversity. The peaceful resolution of the Ayodhya dispute, as we all know, was a momentous occasion for India, and the role of this temple in the larger context of Ayodhya's spiritual and social unity cannot be overstated. It's truly remarkable how the Devakali temple's revival and its spiritual energy played a part in such an important historical moment. To wrap up, how do you see the future of this temple and its role in the community? The Devakali temple, now revived and filled with devotion, stands as a symbol of the power of faith and unity. Its future is bright because it is no longer just a physical structure. It is a living, breathing space that unites people regardless of their background or beliefs. As the community continues to come together not just to pray but to serve one another, the temple will remain a place of spiritual renewal and peace. It will continue to be a source of strength, guiding people toward inner peace and collective harmony. Thank you for sharing these insights with us. The Devakali temple truly stands as a testament to the power of faith, unity, and the divine blessings that transcend time. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to share this story, and I hope that many more people will come to experience the peace and blessings of the Devakali temple. Indeed, may the divine blessings of Devi Devakali continue to guide us all. Thank you once again. Namaste and Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, good day. Today we have the privilege of speaking with an esteemed art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan who played a crucial role in the revival of the Devakali temple. This sacred temple in Ayodhya, known for its unique composite idol of Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati, holds a special place in the hearts of devotees. The temple's revival, under the guidance of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji, along with the incredible efforts of Art of Living volunteers, has not only revived the physical structure of the temple but also played a significant role in the resolution of the Ayodhya dispute. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. Jai Gurudev, and thank you for having me. It is indeed a pleasure to share the story of Devakali temple and its significance in the spiritual and historical context of Ayodhya. Let's begin with the temple itself. Can you tell us about the uniqueness of the Devakali temple and what makes it so special? Absolutely, Devakali temple is extraordinary in many ways. Unlike most temples, this temple houses a composite idol carved from a single slab of stone, depicting three powerful forms of the divine feminine, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati. These three deities represent different facets of Shakti, the divine power. Mahakali embodies strength and justice, and Mahalakshmi offers prosperity and well-being, and Mahasaraswati brings wisdom and knowledge. The fact that all three are carved from a single stone makes this temple truly unique. The temple represents the full spectrum of Shakti, strength, wealth, and intellect. It is a living expression of divine energy in its most balanced and holistic form. It sounds like the temple is not only a place of spiritual worship but also a powerful symbol of balance and completeness. How was the temple revived, and what role did His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji and the Art of Living volunteers play in this revival? The Devakali temple had fallen into neglect over the centuries, but the revival truly began when His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji, with his profound vision of peace and spiritual unity, took it upon himself to restore the temple not just in terms of its physical structure, but also its spiritual essence. Art of Living volunteers, guided by Gurudev's teachings, worked tirelessly to rebuild the temple, preserving its sanctity and ensuring that it would remain a beacon of spiritual energy for generations to come. It was not just about constructing walls, but about bringing life back into the sacred space. The temple was rebuilt with a great reverence for tradition and a deep understanding of its cultural significance. And the Chandi Homam performed during the reopening ceremony was a momentous event that brought together people from all walks of life. The Chandi Homam must have been a very special event. Can you tell us more about it and how people from different communities participated? Yes, indeed, the Chandi Homam was a pivotal event in the temple's revival. It was a grand occasion where both Hindu and Muslim scholars were invited to perform the sacred rituals, reflecting Gurudev's message of unity and harmony. The ceremony was not just a religious event, it was a spiritual gathering that symbolized the coming together of different communities for a common cause of peace and devotion. During the ceremony, we witnessed a deep sense of reverence not only for the goddess Devkaali, but also for the shared values of compassion and respect that transcend religious boundaries. Gurudev's vision was to show that spirituality is not confined to any one group, but is something that unites all people in their quest for truth. It's heartening to hear about the unity in diversity that the event promoted, and it's fascinating to see how the blessings of the Devakali temple have had far reaching effects. Can you share how this temple and its revival played a role in the successful mediation of the Ram temple resolution by the Honorable Supreme Court of India? The connection between the Devakali temple and the successful resolution of the Ram temple issue is deeply profound. The energy of the temple, the devotion of the people, and the divine blessings of Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati played an essential role in creating a spiritual atmosphere that led to peace and resolution. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji, with his wisdom and compassion, was instrumental in mediating the situation. His involvement in the Ayodhya dispute was not just a legal or political endeavor, it was rooted in deep spirituality. Through the blessings of Devakali temple and the guidance of Gurudev, the country saw the resolution of a centuries-old dispute in a peaceful and harmonious manner. The temple, with its rich history and divine presence, served as a spiritual cornerstone for the resolution, reminding all of us that true peace means and comes from balancing strength, wealth, and wisdom. The outcome, as we all know, was a peaceful and historic judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court of India, which resolved the Ayodhya dispute for good. The Devakali temple seems to have been at the heart of both spiritual and historical change. Finally, could you share with us the significance of the temple's pond and the rituals that take place there? Yes, Jayagurudev, the pond or kunda beside the temple is another beautiful and sacred aspect of the site. It is believed that this very pond was once used by the queens of Ayodhya for sacred rituals, adding to the temple's historical significance. The still waters of the pond reflect the temple's grandeur, and during Navratri, the reflection of the temple in the water creates a mesmerizing sight. Oil lamps float across the surface, filling the air with the fragrance of jasmine, incense, and turmeric. Each lamp a prayer, each fragrance a reminder of devotion. On Ashtami during Navratri, thousands of devotees gather, their hearts full of faith, to offer their prayers to the goddess. The temple's priests perform ancient Shakti rituals, lighting 108 lamps in honor of the goddess. It is said that those who worship here with a pure heart are blessed and their wishes are filled. The pond, like the temple itself, is a place of reflection where devotees connect with the divine in a peaceful and sacred atmosphere. It's been an absolute pleasure hearing about the rich history, spiritual significance, and the remarkable journey of the Devakali temple. Thank you so much for sharing this inspiring story with us. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this sacred journey. The Devakali temple is indeed a symbol of divine power, unity, and peace. We hope it continues to inspire and bless all who visit it. I'm sure it will. Thank you once again for your time. Namaste and Jai Gurudev.